Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to continue working through our notes. And it's a small section today, so we won't be here too long. So if you can open up your notes packet, either whether it's on the computer or if you've printed it out, I have my copy from school. So we're going to be under the list the parts of the following, and you are going to start with the heart. Okay, so we're going to talk a lot about the heart. We're going to talk about how the blood flows through the heart. So we need to know different parts about it. So we're going to start with the circulatory system because I think we actually didn't get that little part above it. So actually it's going to be the circulatory and the respiratory system consist of, and you're going to fill in that blank. It's going to be that they consist of the heart, the lungs, the blood, and the blood vessels. And so sometimes this can be called the cardiovascular system. And then for our purposes, we know it to be the cardiovascular system, but we're also going to call it the cardio system. We might call it the cardiorespiratory system. We might call it cardiovascular system. We're going to call it all different kinds of things, but just know that they're all the same. And it is responsible for circulating the blood throughout the entire body. So your blood is obviously circulating from head to toe, fingertip to fingertip, all throughout your body all the time. So we're going to dive into the different parts today, and then we are going to then follow up this lesson with how it actually goes through the whole heart, lungs, all of that. Not hard, promise, we got this. All right, so that's that little blank at the top. The cardiovascular system, or the circulatory and respiratory system, they consist of the heart, the lungs, the blood, and the blood vessels. All right, so moving forward, this is the heart. Okay, I'm going to post this over here. There is a little link that you can click on. Okay, it is a video of surgery if you want to watch that. And then over here is another YouTube video. So if we click here, it'll bring you to YouTube. Oh, sadness. It's not available. I'll fix that. But we'll go back to our PowerPoint. So I'll try to get that one fixed. And then this one is the open heart surgery. Hopefully this one works. So it might ask you this because it is a surgery, but if your parents allow you to watch it, we would watch this in class. It's a triple bypass surgery. But again, if you're one of those queasy people, it's a lot of blood. Okay, and I know we have a couple of those in our class. This looks like a lot. We're going to talk about all of it, and you will know all of these parts as we go through this unit. Don't freak out. Let's learn about the parts first, and then we'll go back to that, looking at that diagram. All right, so first up we have the heart. So the heart has hemoglobin, okay? It's an iron-rich substance. It's a compound that our blood has, and it helps carry the oxygen around. So it's not just in our heart, but it starts there. Okay, so it is an iron-rich compound within our blood that helps the oxygen flow throughout our blood so the oxygen can get to all the parts of our body. All right, so then we have this thing called stroke volume. So stroke volume is the amount of blood that's pumped per beat. So every time your heart beats, there's a certain amount of blood that's being pumped out of it. That all in itself is called stroke volume. And there's a calculation that you can do to figure out what the actual number is, but for right now, we just need to know the definition for the purpose of our class. So when you're at rest, so like right now I'm sitting down, I'm at rest, the heartbeat is on average about 72 beats per minute. So if you have an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or something and you want to look, so if I go and look at mine is going, it's set to walking right now. So if we scroll up, my current resting heart rate is 68. So I'm right around that 72 range. And again, this is on average. Some of you guys are going to be a little bit higher. Some of you guys are going to be a little bit lower. They tend to say that the lower that it is, the healthier that you are, but that doesn't really necessarily indicate proper health. So again, hemoglobin and stroke volume, these are two terms that we're going to talk about that pertain to the heart. Hemoglobin, iron-rich substance, carries oxygen throughout the body within the blood, and stroke volume, the amount that is pumped out per beat, and then the average resting heart rate for anyone, the average is 72. All right, so then we have blood vessels. There's 3 different kinds that we're going to talk about. Arteries, capillaries, and veins. So they all 3 do something a little bit different. So our arteries, these are going to be vessels that carry blood that's oxygenated. So the blood that has oxygen in it. Yes, there's blood that doesn't have oxygen in it. We'll get there in a second. So arteries are going to be going from the heart. So they're going to start at the heart and they're going to go out to our major extremities, our arms, our hands, the rest of our bodies. Okay. So arteries is what's taking the blood away from our heart. It has oxygen. Then we have capillaries. These are the deliverers of the oxygen and the other nutrients to individual cells. So if you look at this diagram here in the middle, it kind of helps a little bit. So if we look here, we have arteries that are large that then start to break off and branch into these little sections. Okay, we're going to see this whole branching system to be our capillaries. They're kind of like the delivery of the oxygen. And then all these little dots, if you see down here, all of those little dots are the oxygen that's being delivered. And then if you look over here at the veins, that's on the other side. So the veins, they deliver the blood back to the heart that's not oxygenated anymore. So it is the deoxygenated blood because our body is going to send blood out that's oxygenated. It's going to deliver the oxygen to the area that's in need, and then it's going to come back to our heart and lungs to get the oxygen that it needs to then be pumped back out. So it's a continuous cycle of the blood being pumped in and out of the heart. And then if you continue through our notes, we're going to see that there's 3 different parts of the respiratory system. So the respiratory system and the circulatory system, they work together. And we're going to really see that when we start to look at how the blood flows through the heart, because without the lungs, this whole process of blood being delivered that's oxygenated and coming back deoxygenated never would happen. So next slide, after we look at the blood vessels, we're going to see the respiratory system and how are they going to intertwine and connect and relate. So the first thing that we want to look at as one of the functions is that the body system of the respiratory system is a system that exchanges gases between our body and our environment. So their exchange of gases between the body, our body, and the environment, so where we're located. The second thing that we want to know about the functions of the respiratory system is that the main organ is the lungs. So the lungs are the primary organ that's working within that system. And then that third thing that we want to know is that the lungs exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. And this whole process, this lung exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen, is called respiration. And respiration we know to be our breathing. So we know that we breathe in oxygen and we expel or release carbon dioxide. Okay? So next part is where we're going to stop. So we are not going to continue on. We're going to stay right there. And you're going to see in your notes that it says label the heart diagram, and that you will need a red and a blue marker to complete the diagram, and that you will need to trace the pathway of the circulatory system. This is what we're going to do tomorrow. So don't worry about that. Our notes are going to be done right there. So you should have all of the blanks on the back side of your first page completely filled out. If you have any questions or you need some help, just let me know. Email or remind are the best things to look at, and continue to see what's the update for each day on the blog through the agenda. Hope you have a great day.